Welcome back. Thank you for joining me once again as I discuss restarting my life at 33 and the realizations or personal reflections I'm having on this journey. The main point I want to talk about today is going to be responsibility as well as social connections, parasocial connections, social media, the online world, these kind of things. In terms of responsibility, let's start here. Something I'm starting to notice or realize is, well, there's two things. The first is the way I was raised, I feel responsible for everybody around me, even like adults, right? And I'll take on more duties and responsibilities than I need to, and in most cases for other people, right? Now, how did I realize this? I was thinking about my job, the car sales job. And there's a few things. The first being, if somebody's coming to buy a Hyundai, they should be aware of what they're buying, right? It's not going to be as reliable as a Honda, and it's not going to be as luxurious as a Mercedes. You should be aware of that, right? But internally, I was thinking, well, I should take responsibility for this person, right? And it's not my job to do that. So this is something I'm realizing now. That's the old operating system, right? And then again, like the old operating system had me doing way more than I was expected to do, right? So I was like going way above and beyond doing, trying to take on more duties and roles to make myself more useful or like helpful. And I guess really it was to make myself seem more useful to like the people above me, right? So again, seeking validation, fear of being replaced, fear of not being good enough, lack of self-worth, right? So this is all like my upbringing that's like played a role in this. And the other factor of responsibility, right? I literally decided enough is enough. I'm going to take control of my life, right? And it was a scary thing to do, and it took a lot of courage, especially because I've lived my whole life with a safety net and really never had any responsibilities, right? And never really had to worry about responsibilities, whether that's like cooking, cleaning, laundry, um, money, like really anything. I've never really had any real responsibilities in my life, right? And I think because I'm a man or like I'm a human and like I want to have like a purposeful or meaningful life, that's what would trigger my anxiety or depression, right? And I would just feel stagnant because I know that there's so much more to life, right? And it was just that like I allowed this leash to be put on me, right? It was an invisible leash or like a chain, but it wasn't chained to anything. I was in a cage that I could have exited anytime I wanted to, but I was so afraid or so used to the comfort that I didn't want to take the risk, right? And it's only after losing Mina and going through this whole journey that I've understood this, right? And this is what I mean by responsibility. So when I was with Black Card University and like I was involved in the whole real estate coaching space, what I noticed early on and what a lot of people noticed is the most successful students were always men who were married and had kids. And it's really not that controversial to think about because this applies in almost all realms of life. And why is that? It's because of responsibility, right? They have to provide for their wife, they have to provide for their kids, right? And there's literally no ifs and buts. Like these people are depending on them, so they figure out a way to make it happen, right? And this is where this whole saying of like, if you have a strong enough why, you can bear any how. So my why became never being in a position where somebody else has control over my life, where I am not free and where if somebody like Mina ever enters my life again, I'm equipped to like hold the relationship or maintain, sustain, and not lose them, right? So that was like the catalyst moment. So that's now become my why, and I think that's kind of given me the kick in the butt I need to get on with my life and keep moving, you know? And I can't just be sitting around waiting and like hoping like, oh, maybe she's gonna come back. Like maybe she won't ever come back, and like I have to accept the fact that like I fucked up, you know? At the same time, now I'm getting to a place where I'm remembering like I had all of these standards and boundaries in place, and like I was leading my life, and then I kind of got sidetracked or derailed, right? And I'm not like saying it's on her or like my parents or anybody. Like it's on me. I didn't have enough discipline to kind of lead myself, right? However, that being said, now that I'm like in my like right state of mind, but also like having gone through an ego death, having like become aware of these patterns in childhood trauma, I'm at a point now where like, yeah, of course, like I would love to like try again and like do things properly this time and actually lead the relationship. But at the same time, like a lot of like as much as it was my own insecurity, you can't have a relationship where just one person is growing, right? And a lot of that relationship, I felt like I was the one carrying a lot of the emotional weight, you know? And even now, like with the way things are going, she's still in a state of avoidance. And I mean, I get it, I understand, you know? And part of me feels like, okay, if she sees that like I'm going through, I'm facing my fears and like I'm growing and I'm evolving, and I'm like facing my demons, that maybe she'll get to a point where she can also reflect and face her demons and grow, right? Because like as cheesy as it sounds, like it's the love that I had for this girl that allowed me to kind of grow this much, right? And this ties into the second point that I want to talk about in terms of like connections and like interacting with people, right? So much of life now is spent on this device, right? And there's so like even in that relationship, like there was so much miscommunication, I think, because my default is just like let me text this person, right? And it shouldn't be the case, right? Even like even at this networking event yesterday, so many people are here and they're like, oh, what's your LinkedIn, what's your Instagram, whatever, right? If you're at a networking event and you're looking to make contacts, why wouldn't you just ask the person for their phone number and then set a date and a time to like meet and talk business or whatever it is you got to talk about, right? Why are you asking to follow them on social media, right? You're going to get like these little updates about their life to feel like you're connected to this person, but you're not really connected to this person. And the updates you're getting often aren't true either. It's just like a curated version that they want the world to see, right? It's everyone is so obsessed with like being cool or fitting in that they've lost sight of who they are. And myself included, you know, I've always been a misfit. I've always been like the black sheep, and a lot of like my life I've been misunderstood, you know, and I always wanted to like be a cool kid or fit in and like be part of the it crowd and like have a bunch of friends and whatnot, you know. And I'm realizing now that it's pointless. There's no point to do that. Like you're better like why lose yourself to like fit in and conform, especially when like most people are not happy with their lives anyways, you know? They're just living in this like illusion or delusion and they're just not aware. It's like zombies walking through life, you know? Or like people are just sleepwalking and they have no idea what's going on. And I don't want to be a part of that anymore. So I won't be going back on social media. And like I'm doing YouTube, but I don't really count this as social media. This is more of like storytelling, and I won't be doing any short form content. Like any kind of content that I'm creating, it's not noise. It serves a purpose, right? And I think we've lost the art of storytelling as humans, and that's why our culture is so weak now, right? Back in the day, you would have everybody sitting around a fire, and the tribe elder or like the chief would share these stories, and this is how they would pass on their wisdom, right? And then this is how culture is created, right? Culture is created through stories, and this is how people would pass on wisdom and knowledge in before, right? So now that I've been doing this like consistently for a week, I'm starting to find my voice and like kind of what's the point of this channel and like where I want to go. And really the point is to inspire somebody, right? I realize like I've had a pretty unique upbringing, so people might not relate to everything that I'm saying. But given that I've had like at least one person watch every video that I've made, there's people out there going through similar situations, right? And maybe hearing that there's somebody else out there who's gone through it will give them the strength they need to go and make a change in their life, whether that's take on more responsibility, whether that's go and declare their love to somebody, or whether that's like walking away from a toxic dysfunctional family and like blocking your parents, right? And yeah, so I'm very much over all of social media. I'm gonna go on this YouTube journey. I'm gonna see where it goes. And I think everybody, again, like I mentioned this before, like go document your life, post it online. You never know who's gonna watch it and how it's gonna impact their life, right? And it takes one person or like one nugget of info to change somebody's whole life, right? So yeah, I mean, that's really all I wanted to talk about today. As we progress, my kind of character will form. Right now, we're in like the training arc, you could say. Like if this was an anime, this would be the training arc. So we're building up, right? I'm becoming the final form of Manzur, and it's scary, but it's also cool, right? And I don't know if this freaking beeping sound is going to be in the video, but I guess we could talk about this, right? Like how most people have responsibilities and stuff. So I'm literally like learning all of this stuff now at 33. Like I've never had to cook, I've never had to do laundry, like cleaning, any of this stuff, right? So while I was like doing my laundry, I was like, okay, let me just do this video so I'm not up late, right? And yeah, we'll end it on this. Like the reason I'm trying to like do things earlier in the day, by like 10 o'clock, I do not want to be using any kind of a device. So the wind down routine right now is eat dinner, go for a walk, journal, read, sleep. Actually, go for a walk, shower, journal, read, sleep, right? I've already done all my prayers for the day. I got them all on time except for Fajr. And hopefully, inshallah, I'll wake up on time tomorrow for that. But overall, I'm enjoying this journey and I am glad you are joining me for this journey. I'm excited to see where we end up, guys. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.